What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another inspiring episode of the Dripping Creativity Podcast. My name is Chris Corvan. I am your host, and today we have a special treat for you. Joining us is the incredibly talented Ciara Hartford, a remarkable author, artist, and graphic designer with a wealth of experience. She has been a graphic designer and art director for over 20 years and has recently taken her passion from writing to new heights. After drafting her first book in under 2 months, she has spent the past 3 years diving deep into the world of publishing, writing, and marketing. With her debut novel published earlier this year, her second book on the way, Kiara is a true testament to the power of dedication and creativity. Grab your drink, get ready, and Kiara, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is Ciara Hartford, and I am a newbie romantic fantasy author. I just released my debut novel in early April called The House of Starling, and I am back for more torture with Chris.
Wow.
No,
just firing shots right off the bat. I see how this is gonna go. So then let's get into some of the good shit here. And what inspired the initial transition from a long career as a graphic designer over into writing?
Too much stress. It's been a long time coming, I would say. Probably 4 years of me having some health issues due to just being very stressed. Lots of anxiety concerns. And then finally just getting to the point where between my husband and I, we were like, do we really need your income? That sounds terrible, but do we really need your income right away? Or can you start investing all of your time in writing and doing freelance design to kind of make ends meet? And I think it was me finally saying, okay, I don't need to have this job working for a company to define my career. And that was when I was finally able to just step away. But yeah, it took me 4 years.
But well, you know what? It's a long journey, and I can tell you, as a fellow designer, it sucks.
Yeah, right.
Difficult ass job.
I still have PTSD. I have friends that will ask me to help them with something, and I'll be like, "Oh, I don't have time to get it to you today. Is that okay?" And they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, well, and I mean, like, for me, hold on, I got random noises happening here. Exit, there we go. It's a lot of just flashbacks of remembering how to, or why I need to explain RGB to CMYK to people.
Yeah. Oh.
And those clients. Yes. And it's like, well, it looks like this on my screen. That's not how it's going to look printed out. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not going to work like that.
Or explaining the difference between a vector and a raster image. Oh. I'm like, why? Yes. Exactly.
I just took a screenshot. Can't you use that? No.
Can't you change the background out on this? I mean, now maybe.
I can. It's still gonna look pixelated as shit, but right. I
can. Yes. I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna be doing some of that. So.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? It happens, but
like 20 years of that, you can't just completely walk away.
No, well, and I mean, I'm on 17, and it's like, I'm not going to stop. I'm lessening the amount of clients I take on.
Yes. No, that's great.
Yeah, just because my stress level can only handle so much, and I'm a little busy.
I know. With things like this.
With things exactly like this. Okay, so we got that. For your debut novel there. Can you describe kind of the process and emotions you were feeling when you were for that 2 months there, and then spending 3 years preparing for it?
Oh man, the 2 months writing it, I was just like, this is great. Mostly because it was my escape hobby, completely different from everything else I was doing. Once I had it done, though, I was like, what do I do with this? And so then it was the long adventure of figuring out what's the difference between traditional and independent publishing. Like, what's all these different things that you could do, the processes for each one, the fact that you're going to be rejected a million times over here and not necessarily make money right away over here. So trying to choose the direction that I wanted to go. And then once I was like, okay, I'm going to self-publish, learning how to do everything, because I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like, can you do this for me? I'm going to be like, no, I know how to do that. I'll do that. Or I don't know how to do that, but YouTube has some amazing tutorials. I will learn how to do that. So
my overall thought is, if you can learn how to do print marketing stuff and dealing with printers, you could pretty much learn anything.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, along with the graphic design stuff, I already had cover stuff. Like, I hadn't done fantasy covers before, but I've done magazine covers and ads and all kinds of stuff. And so I was like, I can figure that out. And then formatting, I had never formatted a book, but I was like, I've formatted 28-page ebooks and white papers. I can figure out how to format a 300, 400-page book.
And that actually goes to one of the things that I love talking about here, which is the toolbox you create for yourself. Especially as a designer who has worked in all the different mediums and all of that, is you have a lot of toolbox stuff, and if you don't know how to do something, you can figure it out pretty fast just based on what you do know. And
it was one of the biggest advice that I've given to other people, which maybe I'm steering them in the wrong direction, but I know how to create a website, and I know how to write HTML and CSS, and I know how to do all that, but it is so much easier to just go on Squarespace and move things around, and your HTML5 is already written for you, and you don't have to deal with maybe you can't get into it and make it quite as perfect as you would want it to be, but you can update your website in 5 minutes, and that is a dream.
Well, and that's one of the big things, like especially as an independent artist of any kind, the things you can use to save yourself time in the end will help you be better, because it needs to be there, and you don't want something shitty out there. So if you can do it for yourself faster with Squarespace, use it, do it. Like, why not? It makes complete sense. Like,
they're both great.
Yeah, no, I'm even going to things like Canva is it's a time saver. And I mean, we're Photoshop people, we're InDesign people, like we know these things inside out.
I'm not a fan of Canva, but I am also a fan of Canva. So it's
exactly,
like, it has its place.
Exactly, like, you know what, for the quick posts and all of that stuff. Oh hell yeah, man! I have templates designed up for everything, where it's just plug and go.
Yep, drop your copy in.
Exactly, and it's easier. It's formatted for social media. It's good to go. So yeah, I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna sit there, load up Photoshop, wait for everything to load up, pull in things, drop everything out, and it's like, no, you know what? Boom, done. I don't care. Like, you know, for the covers and all that shit, take my time, use my skills, but you know what? For social media especially, I will use every available cheat I possibly can.
Oh yeah, trust me. I'm trying to figure out like how to. That's something that I would like to eventually work on, is helping some of these other indie authors that are not so tech savvy get themselves set up so that they can just go in and update a website on Squarespace or Wix, or just grab a template that maybe somebody else created for them that looks nice and just drop their crap on and go. But there's other tools too that are a little bit more robust. I don't know how much you've gotten into Figma. Have you used Figma?
I haven't got huge into it, just because I started stepping away really before.
Yeah, and then you were like,
do you have any idea how many programs I've had to learn?
I do, actually, because I was just like, in my job, they were just pushing video on us, and I was like, hey, look, that is a complete other career path, and you want me to. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna learn how to do video now. And then now they were talking After Effects, and I was like, look, that's animation. That's a completely different career path, and I don't.
Anyways, okay, back on track.
Sorry.
So then I guess this goes into, how do you balance your roles as you know, a parent, author, artist, designer? Like, how are you finding that going?
I'm not doing well right now. No. So I found that after 20 years, specifically 16 years as an art director in a very stressful environment, I was so burnt out that I didn't know what burnt out meant anymore. So I quit And I still like I quit April 4th was my last day, and I still feel like I'm just on vacation. So I'm still like, I'm going to go back to this job tomorrow and it's going to be crazy. So I haven't quite gotten myself into, okay, I get up and I'm going to focus on social media first thing in the morning, and then get my marketing out of the way, and then maybe I'll do some writing and then switch over. I haven't figured all that out. As far as balancing like the family with writing, that's been going great because that's all I've been doing is going from write all day, and then my daughter gets home from school and we do a couple things, and then I write in the evening, and then I go to bed and I do it again. And I feel like it's not like I haven't really gotten into the swing. So any tips from anybody, I will take it, because
it's definitely different for everyone. Like I was just talking to a marketing person yesterday for an interview, and just kind of trying to feel out their schedule, and they're like, yeah, I'll work whenever. It's like, I can't do that. Like for me, I have specific times a day that I do things like, client relation stuff. That's 9 to 5. That's kind of like, this is my set time.
You cut that off. Yeah.
And then I have to, because I'm the type of person that if I get that email at 11 o'clock, I will handle it. Yeah, because it's just like, I don't like leaving things like that not done. That's just not how it's not how my mind works. So it's I have to specify that with my clients, where it's like 5 o'clock, anything after that's the next day. I don't care. Like, unless it's a massive rush, and I'm going to charge you for that. And you know what? They generally don't email.
Yeah. I was going to say, as soon as you start talking money, people are usually like, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
And then then after that, it's focusing on creative to a certain time. But even that, I have to have a dead stop at like 10 o'clock, just to wind down.
That's my struggle right now, is turning that, because I've been so used to working, the 9 to 5, and then fitting in that creative and that writing in wherever I can fit it. So that was evenings, first thing in the morning, lunch hour, weekends. And I'm still kind of in that zone where I'll write all day, and then we'll do our family stuff. And then in the evening, my brain is still like, okay, we got to get like 1,000 words in, because that's how this works. And I think that as I get into this routine a little bit more, that it may just stay that way, because my creative brain is firing first thing in the morning and right before I go to bed. Like, that's when I'm the most creative. But
I'm literally the same way, actually. Like midday is my worst time of day. Like between, like this is the reason why I schedule these now. No. Oh yeah, I know. Well, I have to. But I schedule these from now, because between 1 and 3 is my downtime. Like I get nothing. It's always been like that. Any other time, I'm great to go. But
I feel like as soon as I have lunch, I'm screwed for the day. Well, not the day, but like it takes me a while to get back into.
Oh, for sure. And but like that's part of the routine, which is why I actually do my workout every day, is because I've noticed if I don't do the physical thing to wear my body out, it puts my mind into overdrive at night. Whereas if I can kind of balance out draining the body and the mind, then it's like, okay, I want to sleep now.
Yeah.
So
when is your workout time? Because I'm trying to figure that out too. Like when
there's 2 different versions of it, depending on what's happening in my life. There's either just before lunchtime, or there's just before dinner. It depends on what time is available for me.
So you're like the same schedule that I would normally be on, because that's how I had some health issues, and I stopped working out completely, and I haven't gotten back into that yet. But that was my schedule. It was like either on the weekends, it was right before lunch, or it was I would get home from work and work out and then do dinner.
Well, yeah, it was specifically right after I got home from work, because if I sat down, it wasn't getting done.
You weren't doing anything after that,
Yeah, exactly. It was come home, get it done, eat supper, I'm good. Otherwise, it just wasn't going to happen. And now with working from home and all that, it's like, okay, I can do it in the morning before lunch. I can kind of work that into the schedule and do all that, because for some reason, right off the bat, first thing in the morning, I'm working. Like as soon as I'm up, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And I think about it, it's like
my body doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, it's like I shouldn't be doing this right now. It's 7 o'clock, but here I am.
Yeah. Like maybe after 4 more cups of coffee, we'll talk then. No.
Okay, so then moving, besides complaining about everything in our life.
Our lives are so terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll continue with the interview here. So I guess you don't really have any resources or strategies that would be particularly helpful to others.
Unfortunately, no, I don't. Sorry.
Okay. So we're just gonna skim past that one.
Yeah.
So let's talk about publishing then. What was some of the more surprising parts of the process for you, and what did you?
Ooh, most surprising part. I mean, no one likes marketing. At least I feel like no one likes marketing. I mean, I don't mind it, but for me, it's social media. Like, I like the marketing where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get in on this sale, and I'm gonna see what my ROI is after I like paid to get into this little thing, blah blah blah, on this email list or whatever. So I wasn't really surprised that like the social media side of it was taxing. I didn't like that. I think the weirdest part for me was like figuring out taxes. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like I made the ridiculous decision to sell signed copies off of my website. So I'm doing it myself. So then there's like a whole sales, like people don't think about sales tax and filing sales tax and whether or not you have to, because there's crazy rules about I think it's called Sales Nexus, where it's like you don't have to file sales tax in that state until you've either sold so many or so many transactions or whatever. But it was just like figuring out taxes and shipping and like what I'm trying. I did not appreciate that. I figured it out, but it was not my favorite thing to figure out.
well, no, it's a lot of those things.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's a choice that I made too. So I guess it's like that's one thing that you may just not do it that way. I know some authors do like an interest form and then they'll invoice so that they can kind of avoid some of that stuff. And I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, there's so many different ways to do it, and I think a lot of the times when it comes to creatives especially, where it's like, oh, I can just do it this way. That'll save me time. It'll be easier, but they don't realize that what you're actually paying in is your own time. Yeah. And possibly your own money. Like there's been several times in the past where I didn't take specific things into account, and suddenly I'm not making any money on this job.
Yes.
Shit.
Like international shipping on some copies.
Oh, especially international shipping. That will wreck you.
If anyone out there is considering this, don't trust any of the estimators online that are going to tell you that it's going to cost you like $40 to ship to Australia, which already sounds ridiculous because I have not been able to get something shipped to Australia for under $70. So, which that's a big difference. That's like a whole nother book worth of money that I just like, here, trash.
Yeah, no, that's.
And you can't go back to someone and say, I'm sorry, it costs too much to ship.
Yep.
Can you pay me more money?
That is the worst possible. As marketing people, we know that's the worst possible thing you could ever say to you. Take that hit. You eat that.
Exactly.
You later.
Suck it up. You're like, well, I got to sell a couple more books now to make up for that loss.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think just like numbers stuff like that. And I still probably need to figure out accounting things, and because like if you're self-publishing, it's a business. Like you can make it less of a business and just like throw it up on Amazon and pray that people are going to find it and talk about it on social media. But it's not necessarily going to hit all the markets that you want it to hit. And if you're not going to put any money into like advertising and stuff like that, no one's going to see it. And so then it becomes a business. It's like, what are the choices that you're going to make to try to get it out there, to try to have people see it so that they want to buy it, and then it snowballs. And I'm somewhere in that weird, like, what am I going to pay for next? What am I going to try next?
That's legit one of the hardest possible things, especially for indie authors. It's like, the amount of cost that actually goes into it in both time and money is ridiculous. And that's one of the biggest things that a lot of them go in where it's just like, oh no, my book is amazing and it's going to sell. And I'm like, well, yeah, your book is amazing. I know that. But you need to think about the possible steps, because you are a little tiny drop in a very large pond.
A very large pond.
And to get noticed on that is almost impossible, because again, and I think that's part of the reason why I like the community and what we all have going on Threads is we've created our smaller pond within there that is kind of manifesting itself as we all grow, right? And I think that's the easiest, most organic way we can do it without spending tons of money on marketing.
It's true.
It's
that
so
is
hard.
It's a game in some cases. It's like some genres do really well with Facebook ads. Some genres do really well with Amazon ads. You don't necessarily know, even if you're in one of those genres, if your book is going to do as well. It's a game. It's a gamble.
Oh, for sure. And you know,
we're all in the casino of life.
Hey, you know what? I love gambling, man.
I'm at the roulette table right now.
Don't take me to the casino. Bad idea. I go all in on Texas Hold'em just because I get bored. Okay, just don't take me anywhere.
That's rough. That's rough. I'm not allowed to go to the casino anymore because every time I go,
me neither.
I'm not the gambler. My husband's the gambler, but I am apparently terrible luck.
I'm
not allowed to go.
You're a cooler. You're a cooler. I
am. He'll be doing real well on he loves the roulette table, and I'll be like, "This is so fun," and then he'll lose everything, and he'll just
get out.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Okay, so moving back on track.
We're terrible.
just as a designer, because this is something that doesn't actually get talked enough about, especially with authors and all of that. When it comes to creating the book covers and that type of thing, what would be like a solid, good rule for them to kind of keep in mind when they're going to design their own covers?
Ooh, that there's definitely genre expectations, like 120% genre expectations. And even if you're like me and say, okay, I'm going to go a little outside of this genre, you have to be prepared for people to not necessarily know what the heck your book is about if you're going to go outside those genre. Like you know what the super common vector based romance covers look like, where it's just like this super simplified people and like the little symbols and then some kind of handwriting font. That's like every single, I would not be able to use that in fantasy. Like it doesn't work. But likewise, I like them, but I don't like the symbolic covers that are super popular right now, where it's just like a sword with flowers.
The very plain and basic.
Yes.
Bold fonts.
They're striking. They look nice. Yeah. But to me, when I see those, I'm like, YA, walk away. I'm not YA. Totally. I'm adult. Yeah. But it's like bleeding into the adult fantasy romance genre because that's what everyone's looking for. So then, like for me, I worry that I've gone a little too far fantasy and not stayed within the romance enough. But so that would be, if you're going to do your own cover, just do a ton of research. What are your favorite books? What do those covers look like? Are those comps? Because that's even better. If they're comps, great. And don't think that your book is the exception to the rule, because you're going to end up changing. You're going to end up doing a new cover. Yeah.
Number one. Well, and I think especially like right now, the biggest issue that I'm noticing with covers and all that is it is so dictated by the big corpos, because they're all running the same cover style, right? So it's now if you're not following them.
Yeah, and that's driving me nuts too, because it's like, not to use Fourth Wing as an example, but they're breaking all the rules with their fonts. What? That's Red Tower, right? Is that the publisher? Like, stop it! Stop! You do not. No sans serif on a freaking fantasy. Just no. I feel better.
As a fellow font person, I get it.
I was like, this is not it, because I've read Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and I was like, the covers don't. For me, it doesn't match, because those are romantasy. That's fantasy romance. Like, make it look like a fantasy romance. Stop this fantasy, like hard fantasy. We don't know.
Yeah. I 100% agree, and it boils down to you need to do research on the current thing, not just what you like. You have to look to see what's currently happening in the genre. Like I did a breakdown of covers on romance books from the 70s to 2020.
Ooh, yeah.
Like every decade kind of
like
had
the
a
clutch
different
covers.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it was like.
And
Fabio with the lady and like
it was so good back then. But there's so many different. Every decade kind of has its own unique variation on things, to the point where even now you're getting to the fantasy covers where it's just a single thing, or not even. Sometimes it's just the words, one single word on 3 different lines, which bothers me.
Where it's like the whole cover is the title.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it. It's striking. I don't like it personally.
It feels like a poster. Yeah.
Anyways, we're just gonna get mad if we keep going.
It's all good. Well, because I'm like looking back here, because I just have 8 million books stacked up all over the place. I was thinking I could grab one, because I'm trying to think of the other one that I was like, I think is it 5 Broken Blades? Is that the one that just came out? It's a Red Tower also. I'm like, what are you doing, Red Tower? Stop it. But it also goes into the interesting concept of when the trends change on covers and genres, and being willing, especially as an indie, to make the change, like when that cover isn't working anymore, when the genre has changed.
That was actually my follow-up question, especially when it comes to the covers and all of that, is like, at what point do you do a reissue of the cover, or even run 2 variations? Like when do you think would be a good time to kind of think about that?
Well, I think, at least for my own, this first book was the first in a trilogy. As much as I love my cover, because I did the whole thing myself, the illustration, everything, I love that cover. That's always going to be my baby. But when I get all 3 of these books out, I have a feeling, because of Red Tower, no, I'm just kidding, that like I may have to revisit. And because I'm only doing paperback initially, because I'm still a baby author and I don't have any money. But at some point, the goal is hardcover and doing something fun with that. So I'm a couple years of these books being out, I may be looking at, okay, what are we going to do for hardcover? Am I totally changing this to fit in with what the current trend is now? Because I am seeing the shift already. Like, I thought I was there, and then I freaking Fourth Wing, like, it's changed. I love it and I hate it at the same time, because it's really brought some fantastic eyes to fantasy again that I feel like we were kind of getting away from. But it's still like, freaking Fourth Wing. Like, now everybody, is this what we're looking for now? Okay, well.
It's, my cat is over here.
Kitty.
Anyways, yeah. So we've actually spent like this entire time talking about design. I just realized, not so much about books. So we're gonna before we get to the lightning round, we're gonna end off with one final question.
Okay.
What advice? Yes, Jazzy, can I help you? 1 second.
Oh yeah, no problem. Jazzy, what a good Mew Mew name.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my gosh, look how pretty you are, Jazzy.
Okay. And just hurrying away. What advice would you give to someone looking to make a career shift into writing or any other creative field?
Ooh, you have to have the strongest backbone on the planet. Like, you may think you're the coolest person on the planet, and you might be the best at writing, or the best at design, or the best at art, or the best at whatever it is that you're doing, but someone out there is not going to like what you're doing. And you have to be prepared to smile and nod and walk away. And then go to your friends that hype you up and be like, help me feel better. You also have to be able to work and work hard. And sometimes work in the evenings and sometimes work on the weekends.
Don't disconnect the call, Jazz. Please stop.
Jazz.
Woo! We survived. We're okay.
Yep. I know as humans we compare ourselves because we compare ourselves, but I've always tried to take that as, okay, what is this person doing that I like so much better, that I think is so much better than me? How can I do this better and be more like them, rather than saying, oh my God, they're so much better, there's no reason for me to even try. Ugh.
That right there is where it's
that attitude is, you can't.
There's enough space everywhere for everyone.
Oh, yes.
Know?
And you and I, we're older. I mean, I'm older than you are, I believe, considering our career timelines.
Anyway. I'm 25. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right? Instagram, social media has made being a creative 12 million times easier. 12 million times. Like when I went to college, I wanted to be a painter. That is what I wanted to do. I wanted to either paint or be an animator or both or whatever. And I looked at the money that you make being both of those things. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'm going to be a graphic designer. And then that still sucked because I still didn't make any money. But instead of being a starving artist, I changed my career to do something else. And that you don't have to do that anymore. You can say, okay, I'm going to put the time in, post 8 million times a day on Instagram till I blow up and get my artwork out there and sell. You put the time in and you can do it. That wasn't always the case. And now it is. So
it's definitely
golden age.
Shifted. I think the big thing with that one is, in order to get to the level that you want to be comfortable in your living, you have to put in the time. I think a lot of people don't realize how much time you have to put in. Like when I'm telling people I'm doing 7 days a week, 18-hour days right now because I have to.
Because you have
to.
It's
not uncommon. But a lot of people are like, oh, that's just way too much. Saying, no. I don't have a choice.
Well,
I need to do this.
Like if you're, you don't have a choice, but also you're probably enjoying what you're doing a little bit more than if you were doing it for, because I mean, example, did I work the entire weekend on a job that's not really making me any money right now? Yeah, I did. I wrote and edited all weekend. Did I go do anything fun? I mean, I did, but I had a deadline. I needed to get alpha copies out to my alpha readers by Monday, and that is what I did all weekend. Did I enjoy most of it? Yes, I did. But that's beside the point.
And again, like when I say 18 hours, and this is another thing people don't really get, is it's not a solid 18 hours.
Yeah, no.
Like you're taking your breaks, it's fluctuating, but you have to enjoy what you do. Otherwise you get burnt out. And even as enjoying what I do, I am still very close to burnout, and it's something I'm very cognizant about. And I maintain, like, if I know there's been several nights where it's like I should work, I can't. If I do anything else, I'll be done, and I can't be burnt out. So it's one of those things you just have to be very, very careful about. Okay, so we have covered a whole lot about designs and how much life sucks and how horrible things are. So now we're going to move into some fun rapid fire questions.
Yay!
This is the most depressing podcast ever.
Come on, this is so fun.
Oh no, this would be great.
It's making everyone else feel great about their own lives. Come on.
Well, it's realistically talking about shit and knowing that this is just how it is, and we're dealing with it because we're awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, rapid fire questions. What is your favorite book genre to read, and why?
Definitely fantasy, mostly into the epic fantasy, and I 100% need a romantic subplot at least. As a middle-aged woman, I require a little bit of the love story. That would be I need a little bit of that. And I think probably the biggest reason fantasy is just because that is what captured my imagination as a teenager when I was first learning to love reading. I do read pretty much all genres, but that is definitely my absolute favorite.
Perfect. Coffee or tea while you work on any of your projects?
Coffee.
Solid answer.
Coffee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. What's a design tool you can't live without?
Oh man, that's hard. I can't live without all of them. Honestly, right now, as much as I hate to say it, Illustrator. With Photoshop, a very, very close second. Very close. Like they fight each other. I mean, it really depends on what I'm working on at the time, I guess. I don't know. Corel Draw.
No, I'm going to piss everyone off. I'm going to say Canva.
Oh, God. I mean, I'll allow it. I actually was a big Canva hater, and then I started using it for this stuff, for book marketing, and now I'm like, I do videos on there. Like, that's the crazy part. I've done like TikTok videos on there.
We've had people do entire videos submitted to festivals that won award off of Canva.
You can totally, and it blew my mind when I realized you could do that. So it is rapidly becoming one of my staples.
The only reason I would say, because normally I would actually say InDesign.
Ooh,
because for everything that I ever do, InDesign has a way to do it.
Yeah,
everything.
And it's fast and easy.
It's fast. Yep. It's lightweight. It's awesome. But for everything that I'm currently doing, with everything else, Canva, because it does everything I need right now. You know, like short of my client work, but everything else, Canva.
Heck yeah, I like it. I'll allow this answer.
Thank you. Okay. We already know that you are a morning person and a night person, so let's get past that one. What is your favorite book cover design you've created so far?
Oh, well, I only have one that I have created, and that is my own.
Okay. Well, okay, then open that one up to what's one of the favorite things you've ever created.
Favorite things that I've ever created. Oh man.
And you can't say your child. That's a cop out.
Dang it! That's rude. Because she's pretty freaking amazing.
My kids are too. I'm saying that's why you can't use them, is because it's an automatic win. You can't use automatic wins.
I mean, honest, and this is ridiculous, but it really is my first book. Like, it may always be my first book because it's the first thing that I did almost everything except for the editing on. So, like, that's a lot of skills. It's a lot of skills.
Solid choice. Describe your writing style in one word.
Oh man, these are hard.
I'm coming for the throat now. No more loosey-goosey, casual, Chris. No, we're coming with the hard shit.
I want to say pedantic, but that's not accurate.
No, but that'd be good.
No. That would, but it's not actually. That was just a word that I just taught my daughter the other day.
Solid word.
I would say lyrical, but I could be wrong with that. I'm gonna stick with lyrical. That's kind of a weird answer.
No, it's a solid choice.
Plus, now I have to think. Now I have to think about this a little bit more. I may email you immediately after and be like, "Hey, can you put this sound clip in of me saying
ADR.
something different?" No.
ADR this line.
Yeah. I send you a little voice clip. No.
Yeah. No, we're leaving it in. Lyrical it is. I'm going to say lyrical. She said lyrical. That is what she chose. There we go. Ebook or physical book?
Ebook. I know. It's okay.
Really?
You guys can hate me, but it's an ebook.
Wow.
I have, and this is embarrassing, over 1,000 ebooks in my Kindle right now, and they go everywhere with me, and it's very small, and I just take it. There you go.
It's acceptable. It is. What is the best piece of writing advice you ever received?
Just get it out of your brain. Just get it out. You can change it later.
legit the best possible advice for anything. Just get it out
just
there.
Get it out.
Oh, love it. And then what is one fun fact that people may not know about you?
Oh,
I know. It's a shitty question.
I was gonna say fun fact. Come on.
Well, fun fact in your own mind. It could be like horribly boring. It's your definition.
I've never dyed my hair ever.
Really?
Like this is like all natural gray.
That's a fun fact. That's a fun fact.
Yeah. Like that's kind of an unusual thing for a lady. We like to cover up our grays. Yeah. Try out some blonde or some red. I've
been mine growing.
Yeah.
Okay,
we should give you some 90s bleached tips. What do you think about that?
I still have photos of me with my frosted tips and my mushroom undercut.
Yes.
Oh no.
Man.
I would rock that shit in a heartbeat. I don't give a shit. I would. Okay, and then finally, the very last, most important, most difficult question. Where can people find you?
Mostly on Instagram and Threads at _Zephy, Zephi, which makes no sense. And on TikTok at _Zephy. And then my website is KiaraHartford.com because I can't match anything. It's the worst. It's the worst marketing.
Why didn't you at least go for the Zephy domain?
I have that one. It's sitting there. Don't worry.
Well, just redirect it.
I should actually.
Your main and redirect because you know what? It'd be a lot easier for the branding.
I should actually, and just like, oh, look at you. I should throw all these marketing questions at you from now on and be like, hey.
Legit, anytime you need.
Because I own like 8 domains because I didn't know what I wanted, so I just bought them, and now I'm like, well, I have them for 2 years for $1 or whatever it is.
Last count from all the various things I've done over the years, I'm up to like 22 domains.
It does not surprise me.
Well, just some of them I just let run out. I was like, I'm not going to do anything with that one anymore. It's gone. But then the very final thing we have to say here is just say goodbye to everyone.
I refuse. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out, and hopefully you come visit me on the socials and visit Chris too because he's cool. I like him. All right. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey with us. It was one hell of a ride. I didn't see that one coming. Your dedication is truly inspiring, and I know so many people can learn so much from you. To all of our listeners, don't forget to check out Kiara's debut novel and keep an eye out for the second book. And if you're an author in need of a stunning cover design or book formatting, Kiara might just be the creative mind you need. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a rating wherever you happen to be listening. I've been your host, Chris Corvan. You can find me everywhere at Chris of the Void. This has been the Dripping Creativity Podcast, part of the Creative Coffee Cafe community. Remember, stay creative, stay inspired, and until next time, see ya.